anyone doing Unit 6, this video is for you. And how do we start? So I'm going to show you guys how to make a website using Google Drive. This is completely free. It will always be free as long as you have storage left on your Google Drive account. So this is my account here. I'm going to click on New. I'm going to add a folder, and I would recommend you add a folder as well. My folder, I'm going to call it 02 new, let's call it test website. You should call yours whatever you need to call it. And again, for Unit 6, for all the other IT courses, whenever you're doing them, you should be taking screenshots and explaining what is being done and why it's being done. So screenshots, what and why. I'm going to go into that folder, and in here, I'm going to click on New again. But this time, I'm going to go down to where it says More, and there's this thing called Google Sites. I'm going to click on that. Now, the reason I'm doing this, when I went over the spec quite a while back, it doesn't actually say anything about hard coding anything. So you don't need to code HTML. You don't need to code any CSS. You shouldn't need to do any of that. It simply says design and develop a website. From memory, I think I did a website about gaming. So I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to try and make it as simple as I can. This is essentially going to be a tutorial for how to use Google Sites, and also for people doing BTEC Level 3 IT Unit 6 website development. This is going to be one of the ways that you can make your website as well. You can use services like Wix, you can use Squarespace, you can use Shopify, and they'll all give you a month free trial, I believe. So you can go ahead and use those. But if you want something that's completely free, something that you can work on in your own time, this is a really, really good option. So again, my website is going to be about games, and let's get cracking. After you've created your Google site, the very first thing that you're going to be greeted with is this blank looking page here. At the very top, this is where you name the file. Down here is the name of the site. These are slightly different things, and they can be the same thing or they can be different. So if I call this one, for example, ABCDEF, I'm going to press enter, and that's the name of the file that's going to be saved on my Google Drive. So when I go back to Google Drive now, as you can see, that's the name of the file that's being saved here. Now down here, I can call this one runs gaming hub. This doesn't change anything anywhere. This is simply what people will see. So this is for other people. That's what they'll see. And this is for you. This is what you'll see when you're on your Google Drive looking for the file. So if I refresh this quickly, it's still going to say ABCDEF. It will never change to this. That's number one. That's how you name your file, and that's how you give your website a name. So this is essentially a banner on your website with the name of the website here. After that, on the right hand side, you can see all these different things here. We have insert, we have pages, we have themes. Now I'm going to stick to the basic theme that this comes with and build everything up from scratch. If you go to insert, you can insert all of these elements or items here completely for free. With other websites and with other services, normally, even with something like WordPress, which is what I use to make proper websites, when I'm using that, half of these things that you would use here are not free. So you would have to go in and you'd have to pay for the plus version or the premium version to get access to a lot of these things. But here it's completely free. Runs Gaming Hub. I'm going to put some random stuff on here related to gaming. I might make it maybe a 2-page website, and that's it. I think the first thing I want to do, I want to have 4 categories on my website. So for example, I'm going to have first-person shooters, I'm going to have third-person shooters, I'm going to have RPG, and I might have racing. That seems like a decent enough category. On my right side here, I'm simply going to go down where it says content blocks. I'm going to drag over the one that's 1x4 or click on it. It comes up with these 4 things here. What you can add in the top section with the plus sign is a picture, and in the bottom part, you can add your text. Now that I'm back in here, I'm going to go ahead and label this one. I think I said this one was going to be first person shooter. Then I'm going to have third person shooter as well. Then I think I said RPG role playing game. And the last one is going to be driving. So after you've labeled your things, right, they look pretty boring at the moment because we don't have pictures in and they don't link to anything. So after you've labeled them, the next best thing to do is probably to go in and add a picture. So you can click on the plus sign and it gives you all these different options here. You can upload, select image, actually brings up this thing where it opens your Google Drive straight away, but it also gives you the option to put a link in, to go to Google Images, and to just choose photos from your photos library, I guess. I'm not going to do that because when I went to Google Images and I typed in something like Halo Infinite, what came up were some pretty funky looking images versus what I found when I Googled directly myself. So these are the images I found when I Googled everything myself. These look a lot better to me. So I'm going to go for one of these instead. How do you save it? I'm going to right click on the image, go to save image as. When this window comes up, you want to make sure of two things. I don't think this supports WebP. I think it only supports JPEG. So JPG, the file format. Let me bring up my Word document here. Let me make that a bit bigger. I think it only supports, let's bring that to 50, JPEG and JPG for JPEG. And obviously it does PNG as well. So these are the file formats that you should ideally be choosing when you're trying to save images. Do not do WebP. You're wasting your time. It won't work. Yeah, I think Google came up with this format, but for some reason it doesn't work with their own service. But that's besides the point. These are the two formatting you need to work with. So when I right click and I go to save as, so let me do that one more time. I'm going to find the image I want, right click on the image from here, save image as. When this comes up, it does say JPG, so JPEG, so I can use this one. I'm going to save this as Halo Infinite, and then I'm just going to click save. That's saved, perfect. I'm going to go back now. I'm going to close this tab here. Back on where I clicked on the plus sign, I'm going to click on the plus sign again, but this time I'm going to choose upload. And this means it's going to upload it from my PC to the website. Click on upload. It's already on my downloads folder, so you guys just need to find wherever you saved your images. What most people normally do is go in and find all the images they want at once and just upload everything. Bang, 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 bang. So I'm going to go to Halo Infinite here. That's the JPEG. I downloaded one earlier, which was a web. That's how I know it doesn't work. I'm going to click on it, then click on open. And as you can see, the image comes up here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for these other three boxes here. I've saved all my images for this section now, so now I can go ahead and add all of them at once. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to just upload them from my PC, but please do keep in mind, if you click on the plus sign, you can go to select image. You can go to, for example, Google Images here, and you can type in what you want, but I just find the images I find the normal Google way is for some reason way better than what I find in here. So if I type in Forza here, so this Forza Motorsport, these images look funky. It has extra stuff which is not linked to Forza the game. So it's not a very good list. So I'm going to close this again. I'm going to click on the plus sign for third person shooter. I'm going to click on upload. And I think GTA 5 is the one I'm going to use. And I know there's a first person version of this as well, but I play in third person, so I'm going to leave it as third person. For RPG, one of the games coming out that I really do want to play next is called Fable. I'm going to double click on that one. It cuts off some of the words, but that's fine. That doesn't really matter too much. Then I'm going to go to driving. And for driving, I believe I have Forza. I'm going to click on open again. And boom. So these are all my images in my top banner. Now maybe let's change the image of the banner. So if you hover your mouse over the banner at the very top, that thing on the top left hand side comes up here. So I'm simply going to click on it. Well, move my mouse over it. And where it says image, I'm going to click on the arrow next to image. It's going to ask us if you want to upload a picture or select one. I'm going to choose select. It gives me a large enough list that I can choose from, and anything here can be chosen, or you could go ahead and upload one, Google search one, upload one from your Google Drive, whichever one you want to do. I want to keep mine really simple. So my text is going to be white, so I need a dark-ish background. So if I go back to select, let's see if I can find another dark background one. This one here looks decent. Then once you select your image, you click on insert, and it will then change what's there now to the new one. Next, before we do anything else, we want to preview this to see how it looks so far. So if I go over to where this tiny icon is here that says preview, it's like a laptop with a phone in front of it. Click on preview. It's going to load up a new version of this, and at the bottom it says large screen, which is what it's on now. That's going to be like desktop. It's going to have then a tablet. This is what it's going to look like on a tablet, and then we have mobile phone, and this is what the website will look on a mobile phone. So you don't actually have to do anything extra to make this work on all devices. So if you're doing your Unit 6 BTEC Level 3 IT course, what I would suggest you do is when you go to preview this, you do screenshots showing that it's highlighted on large screen. You do a screenshot of that, and you explain that this is done, so compatibility is not going to be an issue because A, B, and C. You do the same thing for tablet. You do the same thing for mobile phone. So at least you have your evidence showing why you think compatibility has been met. I guess the next thing we might want to do now is to create a new page, because we have four categories here. We have first person, third person, RPG, and driving, or whatever your categories are. You might want to create more pages. And I think for this assignment, you have to create multiple pages. So for this, you go to the very top right hand corner where you have insert, then you go over to pages. You hover your mouse over the plus sign at the bottom and you can create a new menu section, full page embed, a new link, and a new page. I'm just going to go with new pages. That's the only one I've ever used, but I'm sure the others work perfectly fine. Click on new page, and here I'm going to type in first person shooters, and you have another page called first person shooter. So it puts the name in there, gives it the same banner, it gives it more or less the same layout based on the theme that you've chosen. But on the right hand side, you can switch between your pages quite easily. So I can go back to my home page if I click on the word home, and I can go back to first person shooters if I click on that page as well. But if I go back to home page and I want to insert, let's say, a button that takes me to the first person shooter page, there might be a way to link these things, but I haven't figured it out yet. So if I do figure it out, I will share the information as well. But let's say, for example, I want to replace these, or I want to put buttons in to link me to a different page. Click on insert, go to button, and the name of this is going to be first person shooter. On the link, once you click in link, it comes up with all the pages that you can be linked to. So for me, the only other page I have is for first person shooters. So I'm going to click on first person shooters, click on insert, and the button comes here. You can click on the pencil here to edit all the things about the button, the text, the color and all of that, the rollover. Personally, I don't really like the buttons, even though you can edit them to make them look a lot nicer. I don't like the way they're positioned because it's not like a snapping grid where it snaps perfectly into place where you want it. It snaps where they've predefined it needs to snap. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of my buttons. I'm going to delete that one. So click on it and simply click delete on your keyboard, or you can click on the trash bin thing here, which says remove. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to highlight the text at the bottom of each image thing, I guess. I'm going to highlight the text, and if you go to the banner that pops up right above it, there's a thing called link or insert link. When you click on insert link, it's going to come up with an option where you can actually choose the pages that you want it to link to. So for that first one, it's called first person shooters. I'm going to click apply. For the next one is going to be highlight again, go to insert link. This one is third person shooters, click apply. This one is RPG, highlight, go to the link thing, click on RPG, click on apply, and finally go to driving, highlight driving, click on the insert link thing and go to where it says driving, then click on apply. Once all of that's done, these links are now technically text buttons. So when I go to preview and I'm on large screen, I can click on any one of these. So let's click on first person shooter first. If I click on that one, it will take me to that page called first person shooter. I can go back, should be able to go back. Then I can go to third person shooter here, click on that one. It should take me directly to that page. Let's go back one more time. Let's go to RPG as well. Should take me to the RPG page. Perfect. And if I go back one more time, go to driving, that should also take me to the final page, driving. So you can choose to use buttons, which I particularly don't like for this system here, or you can choose to use just the text. The text will have an underline, it will have that purple or blue looking text highlight that lets people know it's a link. Now you might be thinking, actually most people won't realize that the text is actually a clickable link. Why not make the picture itself a clickable link? Because normally when people go onto websites, they see a banner, they click on the banner, it takes them back to the home page. Or when they see an image of a section, they click on the image itself and that takes them to where they want to go. So for me, I'm going to click on my first one here, which is the halo picture, the first person shooter thing. If you click on it, the box goes around both the picture at the top and the text at the bottom. If you click on the picture at the top again, it highlights just the picture. And now you can do exactly the same thing for that. So if you click on where it says insert link, you click on insert link, it comes up with all the options again. So for me, I'm going to click first person shooters, then I'm going to click apply. All of those are now done. I'm going to go to preview again just to see if the text and the picture work. So I'm going to click on preview. And when I click on, let's say, RPG picture, so the Fable image here should take me to the RPG page. Perfect. That works perfectly fine. So this is what I actually wanted to do. The choice is up to you. I would always recommend doing the picture and the text, never just the text. Most people now think pictures are clickable. So if you make your picture clickable, it just suits everyone. I'm not going to be able to go over every single feature here because they're so extensive, but I think the next couple of ones I want to show are probably YouTube. So most gaming websites, or most websites nowadays, they have a video thing on the website. So I think having a video on your website is probably going to be a good thing. I'm going to go over to where it says insert again, click on YouTube. Now once you click on YouTube, it comes up with a search thing straight away. So if I search runs Tech Hub, and if I do Unit 1, press enter, it's going to come up with my Unit 1 stuff. So I'm going to choose a random one. This is a 30-minute video showing people how to draw the images for the Unit 1 exam. I'm going to click on that, then simply click on insert. It comes up with a YouTube playable things right at the bottom of my page. You should be able to drag this across again. For this one, you can center it. And I think if you're only going to have a single video, you might want to center it. Again, it's entirely up to you. You can do what you want. At the very bottom of my page, I'm going to have some social media links. So there's actually a thing here called social links. I'm going to click on social links. It's going to come up with these options here. Now, it doesn't have much initially, but you have to go in and add what you want. So I think I'm going to do, which one was this? This was the Facebook one first. So go find the PNG you want to use. Ideally, make it a PNG so that there's a gap in between if necessary. I'm going to right click on this, go to save image as. I'm going to save this as Facebook. I'm going to go back to my website thing, and then I'm going to click on the plus sign. This is going to add the icon I need. So I'm going to click on upload my Facebook icon. It shows up here. My Facebook link, I don't have any social media whatsoever, so I'm just going to put the link to this Google search, for example. Paste the link here. Then for the next one, I'm going to do Snapchat. Again, I don't have any social media, so I don't know anything about this stuff. Just going to save my Snapchat image as a Snapchat. I'm going to go back to my website. I'm going to click on the plus button, click on upload. I'm going to choose my Snapchat icon, and again, I'm going to use this link here, right? What you can do is you highlight all of this. It's going to be a bit tricky to highlight links sometimes. So the easiest way to do it, if you're not there, once you're onto the link you want to copy, simply click there one time. It highlights everything. If you right click on the link, you can then copy the link. Or what I normally do, if I click there and I have like a single cursor there somewhere, I press Control on my keyboard, hold it down, I press A, that highlights all. So that highlights everything in that text box. Then I press Control and C for copy, go back to my website again, paste the link here, and I'm going to click insert. I only have two icons I want to use. It's put it in a weird location. I don't want it there. I'm going to drag it all the way down to the bottom. That's where it probably should be. Another nice feature I think I like having on every single website I've ever made. I've probably had an image carousel of some kind because people like showcasing images of whatever the topic is. So if it's traveling, you have images of you traveling, a person traveling. It's called an image carousel. So on the right hand side again, go to insert, click on image carousel. And from here, you can insert as many images as you want. I'm going to click on the plus sign and I'm going to go to upload image. I'm going to highlight every single image in here. And the way I do this, there's a tiny gap between the actual file and the right side gray box here. So if you look, I'm going to try and zoom in on video. There's a tiny gap there. If you click in that gap, hold your mouse down and drag it down, you can highlight all the things you want. There is an easier way. The way I normally do it, click on the first image you want to start highlighting from, drag your mouse, scroll down, sorry. So scroll down and then press shift on your keyboard and press shift and hold it down. I want to highlight every single image here. So I'm going to click on the very last image I have, which in this instance for me is Halo Infinite. Click on that one. And as you can see, everything's highlighted, but whichever way you choose to do it, again, it works perfectly fine. I'm going to click on open. That should start adding all these images here. I'm not going to mess with anything. I'm not going to add any text whatsoever. I'm simply going to click on insert. This is by no means the best way to do this. This is just to show you that this thing works and how to use it. I think the image should probably come, let's say, right after the banner. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag this. I'm scrolling my mouse wheel so I can move up right after the banner. So at the very top there, when that thick blue line comes up, you let go, and that's your image carousel. Probably want this in the center as well, or you want it a bit bigger. There we go. That's the center there. And let's go ahead and preview this. If I click on preview, the image carousel should be cycling through by itself, depending on what the settings are. But if it doesn't, you have arrows on the left and right, and you have those bubble buttons on the bottom as well. If you click on the arrow, it should cycle through. Perfect. If I go down here and I click on the video for this, if I click on that, all right, so that works perfectly fine as well. The links here we've already tested. So if I come out of this, let me click on my image carousel again, but this time I'm going to click on settings gear icon. Click on settings. After I click on settings, I'm going to click on the gear icon again, top right hand corner where it says settings. Don't know why that didn't come up straight away, but hey, click on settings, and this time I'm going to click on auto start. So that means as soon as the page loads up, the images are going to start cycling through. I'm going to make the transition speed fast just so we can see stuff moving here on screen quickly. Click on update. Then I'm going to go back to the preview button here, and yeah, there we go. So that's pretty quick. That's probably too quick for most people, but I just wanted to show you guys the thing working. As I've said, this thing has so many features. I won't be able to go over everything in a single video, but you guys should definitely, especially if you're doing the Unit 6 BTEC Level 3 IT coursework, you should definitely sit down for like a couple of hours, go through every single feature here and try and figure out how these features can help you develop or get to the end goal for your website. Hopefully that was helpful. Please like and subscribe.